Nebraska had one of their biggest recruiting weekends ever on Saturday. So in today's video, I'm going to give you an update around that situation. Who are all the prospects who went on campus? How are they feeling after Nebraska's 28-10 victory versus Colorado? And can we expect some commitments coming soon? So really quick, we have a lot to talk about today. Hey, if you are pumped up about watching Nebraska play this Saturday to potentially be 3-0, hit that like button. And hey, if you're new to the channel or it's a returning viewer, make sure to subscribe. I post daily Nebraska football content, and I'm not slowing down anytime soon. So if you're a diehard fan of this program, please hit that subscribe button. You will not regret it. But without further ado, let's get into it, going over Nebraska's huge recruiting weekend and how some of the prospects liked Lincoln. So let's go to the number one storyline in the recruiting sphere for the Huskers. Michael Terry made potentially his last visit to Nebraska this weekend, and he loved it, to say the least. In an interview that he really believes Nebraska is going to win again, not only in games like this, but in college football playoff scenarios. He and his dad said that Nebraska is different, that every time they go to Lincoln, something's improving, and also said that no other program is recruiting him as hard as Nebraska. We know that Texas and Oregon, they're in the mix, but said Nebraska is constantly in communication, and they want him badly. So he will be taking another visit to Texas. That should be noted for the Georgia game. We're hoping that I know it won't be comparable to the Nebraska game, that's for sure, but we'll see how that goes. And it also should be noted around the Michael Terry situation. He was in the locker room after the game with the players, as were many of the recruits that came on campus. So they were celebrating with the players, meeting the players, with the coaches. So again, we went all out this weekend, and Michael Terry was really blown away. So that basically the atmosphere is unlike anything he's ever seen before. So big update there around Michael Terry. Let's go to the second most talked about prospect who was on campus, Dawson Merritt, current Alabama commit, 4-star linebacker. And he loved it as well. Now, he loved the atmosphere. That was the first thing that he said was phenomenal. That, again, he's never been in a stadium as loud as Memorial Stadium. And he's really good friends with Michael Terry. He's friends with some of the current Nebraska commits. So, of course, we know that we were trying to peer recruit him back to Lincoln. I do think that we have an opportunity to flip him. But like I've said all summer, it comes down to winning and winning consistently. This was a good step in the Dawson Merritt recruitment. You just got to compound these victories over and over. And if you can win 8, 9, 10 games this year, yes, I feel really good about our chances of flipping him. So yeah, Dawson Merritt was really thrilled with Nebraska's victory versus Colorado. And once again, he was in the locker room when it was done. So yeah, Dawson Merritt, I don't expect a flip coming soon. But again, if we could continue to win, we'll have this conversation again. Don't be surprised. So Dawson Merritt really liked his visit. Let's go to the third prospect I want to talk about in today's video. A guy that I made a video about, let's say 2 weeks ago, that you should know. This is 4-star 2026 quarterback Michael Clayton. Now, he was visiting for this game, and after the game, a crystal ball came in for him to commit to Nebraska. He has the green light. We'll see if he decides to make it official anytime soon. He said that, once again, it was the best visit he's ever been on, period. And he's been to a bunch of SEC schools. So Michael Clayton, a guy who is a dual-threat quarterback, more of an improviser, like, Dylan Raiola, Patrick Mahomes, that type of quarterback. So Michael Clayton, crystal ball comes in for him. At this point, he might be Nebraska's 2026 quarterback. I only anticipate us to take one. I've talked about the Dayton Raiola recruitment in the past. I think just as of right now, he may or may not be good enough for Nebraska to take him. Michael Clayton's a 4-star. Dayton's not. I don't know. We'll see who commits first, but I think Michael Clayton has the green light. I don't believe Dayton does. We'll see what happens there, but Michael Clayton had a great visit. Let's go to my fourth player. Let's take it back up to the 5-star ranks. Jackson Cantwell, the number 2 prospect in the class of 2026, 5-star tackle, had a phenomenal visit, to say the least. Now, he was at the Michigan game last year, a game in which we got blown out. This was completely different to the Michigan game. He said that, of course, it was a night game atmosphere, that not many places in the country can do what we did. And he said he met Will Compton again. Will Compton is his guy. He met him at the Michigan game last year. So he really loves Nebraska. He loves the state. We talked about his connections. Of course, his mom being from Crete. And this is a guy that Nebraska, they need to lock him down because he could be protecting Dylan Raiola's blind spot for the next 2 years. So Jackson Cantwell, really, really good prospect there. And a guy that, again, he's a very, very solid prospect. Again, 5-star like we're talking about, but I really like our odds with him. It should be noted that he is taking more visits, not to Nebraska necessarily, but to other SEC schools, Alabama, Georgia. I believe he has a visit to Mizzou lined up. So some other players there in that recruiting process, but Nebraska's right up in there. A couple other guys I want to mention. Cortez Mills. I got a lot of questions around him. Did he make the visit to Lincoln? He did. 4-star wide receiver in the class of 25. Now, I talked about this in a previous video that Oklahoma has a policy. If you are committed to the Sooners, you cannot visit anywhere else, or else they will drop your offer on the spot. Now, Cortez Mills, it was announced that Oklahoma made an exception for him. I'm sure that's because he's a heck of a player. They don't want to lose him. But Cortez Mills did make it to Lincoln along with him and his mom. And it should be noted, he is really good friends with TJ Lateef. TJ Lateef was interviewed about 2 months ago, and he said, of all the players he's trying to peer recruit, Cortez Mills is number one. And they were hanging out all throughout the Colorado game. So TJ obviously trying to pull some strings there, get Cortez to Lincoln. This would be a huge get. I believe that the two most talented Nebraska wide receiver prospects that they've went after in this class, Michael Terry, Isaiah Mosey. Number 3 is Cortez Mills. So hopefully we can get that guy as well, along with Terry. So update there around Cortez Mills. He'll take a visit to Oklahoma, though. He'll take a visit to LSU. We'll see if he flips. I'm going to guess he doesn't. I'm just going to put it out there. I don't love our odds, but we're back in it. Hopefully we keep fighting for him. A couple other guys here. Devin Walker, the number 3 the number 3 running back in the class of 2026, visited Nebraska, borderline 5-star. He said the atmosphere was so loud he couldn't hear himself talk. Nebraska is currently the favorite in his recruiting process. Need to get him. He's a complete stud coming out of Missouri. We also have Christian Jones. He was at last week's game versus UTEP, came again versus Colorado, so it's the loudest game he's ever been to. At this point, I've said time and time again, I believe it's a 50-50 between us and Oklahoma. I'd give us the slight nod. I think we're about 60-40, maybe even 70-30. Oklahoma's still in the process. I'm not locking a Christian Jones prediction just yet, but these 2 weekends have been paramount in his recruiting process, and I feel really good about him, especially just with all the friends he's made. Again, Tyson Terry's very close with. He's close with Caden Vermoss and some of the other guys who are committed right now to Nebraska. One other guy who I believe is on commitment watch that I'll mention in this video is 4-star linebacker / safety Caden Cobbs. This guy, I believe, will commit very, very soon. Now, he's coming out of Texas. He said that he had an absolute blast in Lincoln, that the atmosphere was different. If you know, you know, to use his words. So I truly believe Caden Cobbs is a guy who is on commitment watch. Again, 4-star guy coming out of the but once again, I really, really like our odds, and we'll see what happens there. But we had a huge recruiting weekend. I told you guys it all depended on us winning. Yes, the atmosphere is phenomenal. Yes, the crowd's phenomenal, but it doesn't matter if you can't win the football game. We did just that, and now you're going to start to see a lot of these recruits flip or start to pay off. So a couple other guys that I don't really have nuggets on but visited. Samelu Utu had a good visit, 4-star OT out of California. Ian Premier, 4-star tight end, also visited. Jaden McGregory had a great visit, the number 1 player in Iowa, and a bunch of other guys. So huge recruiting weekend. It's only going to get bigger from here, and I'm pumped up. So expect some flips, expect some commitments in the class of 26, and let's get rolling. All right, guys, let me know down below in the comment section, which one of those recruits I just mentioned do you want the most? Let me know. Hey, if you made this far in the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And as always, folks, go Big Red, go Matt Rhule, and see you in the next one.